What would you feel like if you were born in a non-conventional marriage of two parents from different cultures? Cultures that have had their difference in the past and, unfortunately, aren't past them. I was born in a mixed marriage. My father is Albanian and my mother is Macedonian. Growing up, I was always asked what it's like to have two parents from two different cultures. What does it feel like? Do I feel more like Macedonian or Albanian? My answer was always the same. I feel normal, because that was my normal. I couldn't have imagined myself looking any different, being any different, or being born any different than I was. I was struggling a lot with this, and I was bothered from the need of people to categorize me for who I was, who I was born. I would like to take some seconds, 30 seconds, and think about our biggest weakness, fear, or the one thing that bothers you most. And please, stay with it through this talk. When I was 24, I met my husband, and he is Bosnian, with me being Albanian, Macedonian, something. And that made me think, what will our children be? And while I was pregnant with my first daughter, the struggle continued, because we wanted to name our daughter Emily. And it's not a familiar name, nor a conventional name for our cultures or for our relatives. So they tried to interfere with the decision of naming our child. And when Emily Nera was born is when everything was clear for me, when I stopped struggling. I just hope they would be happy and healthy and whatever they wish to be, and I hope I will be there to support them, as any other parent would think. Putting boundaries and margins for our children is like putting them in these small boxes and closing up an entire world of exploration for them. Boxes like religion, race, color, traditions, gender, sexuality. What will people say? And in the Balkans, this is a huge problem. 2013, with my husband Nermin, we opened our dance studio, Dancers United, with the idea that it will unite everyone, and it will be a place where everyone can feel themselves, including us. We decided we are going to have a pro bono group, and we established a group for people with special needs, and we started with a big group of people with Down syndrome, and started giving them the special treatment, trying to arrange a special class in special hours where they weren't mixed with anyone else, because we had reactions from our clients like, I don't want my kids to see them, my kid was afraid at home, my kid cried, they look so weird, they are pitiful, they. What is your reaction when you see a person with impairment? Think about it. And the group wasn't progressing, even though we were trying to make all the special conditions for them so they can feel good and safe, but we were doing it all wrong. We were in a way asking them how it's like to have Down syndrome. And I was forgetting that that was the one thing that pissed me off mostly while growing up. Down syndrome is a condition, they are born with it, that is their genetic code. It is their normal. So who are we to take deciding into our own hands and create a normal for them? This is when we realized we have to change, we have to accept, and we have to unite. And that's when our name got its real meaning, United. In our studio, we have 3 dance halls, and in the 2 smaller dance halls, we have professional classes, dance classes, Latin, hip-hop, and ballet for children, while in the big dance hall, we have fitness classes and dance classes for adults. The frequency in the studio every hour is from 50 to 100 people. And each day, 200 to 300 people pass through the studio. This includes parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, people that come to exercise, people that come to pick up or bring their children to dance classes. And these are 200 to 300 different energies, different characters that pass through the studio, which we affect. So, I changed my mindset and ditched the special program, taking place in the special hours, and moved the group to the regular hours with everybody else. This was a very big risk we took as a company, but also a big step that defined our basic vision, to have a place where everyone feels themselves. And this made a natural selection of our target group members. We lost some members at the beginning, which wasn't cool with being in the same room, I don't know why, with people with special needs. But we gained a whole new spirit in the company. I started teaching my classes regularly. I started listening to my group. I started focusing on their interests. Not everyone likes hip-hop, ballet, or Latin, but nonetheless, they had to learn everything during these years in order they can express themselves. Very soon after, we had our first flash mob. A flash mob is a group of people that assemble in a public place and perform an act for the purpose of entertaining and artistic expression, and then they just spread out. So we mixed a few of our groups, and we had our first flash mob, which was really cool, and they all enjoyed together. From there on, everything started to work out great. And we organized the first inclusive festival, which was visited by 400 people. And since then, we have had this tradition on organizing an inclusive festival each year, which year by year is growing, and more people have seen them. And then we have the first competition that we visited that had 1,500 people in the audience. And so on, the 6 years, hundreds of thousands have heard about our dancers with Down syndrome, but nothing is as easy as it seems. I got pregnant. Becoming a new mother and getting these new roles in my life led to the point that we had to find a new coach. Finding a new coach whatsoever is very difficult, and I cannot even tell you what it was like to find a new coach for a non-conventional group and telling them that there is no methodology, nor manual on how to work, nor what to expect from it. But fortunately, as everything else in life, everything has a solution. And under my mentoring, one of our coaches stepped in, and my younger sister helped. And during these years, they had so many different coaches, I didn't need to teach them anymore. And I couldn't, because guess what? I became pregnant again with my daughter, Luna Daria. During these years, I didn't need to coach them anymore. I led them. And we started attending championships, European championships, world championships, and we even won them. The category is para-integrative, and 50% of the dancers in the group must be with disabilities, and the rest can be with regular development. But we decided that we are going to go with 100% with people with Down syndrome, just to show people the abilities of the people with disability. So, 2015, and since today, since 2019, they have the title National Champions. 2016, they finished 6th in Graz, Austria, at the World Championship. They finished 3rd in Copenhagen. 2018, they won the title of European Champions in Genoa, Italy. 2018, my DS crew, my Down syndrome dancers, won the title World Champions in Kielce, Poland. And 2019, they defended their title as World Champions. And all this was achieved by not giving them the special treatment. And if it sounds like I'm bragging, it's because I am. They have gotten this huge media space. They went viral in our country and abroad. We filmed documentaries, photo shoots, music videos. We went to all televisions. They had lots of interviews. We had Sarah Kočan come and visit us in our studio, and we filmed a short documentary with her. We visited the president of North Macedonia, the prime minister, ministers and officials of North Macedonia. We got lots of awards and recognitions, and everyone is asking for the DS crew to perform for them, and they are getting paid for their work. People recognize them on the streets, and they ask for autographs, they take pictures together, and they speak of them only in a positive way. So, do you remember the dance group with Down syndrome that people didn't want to be with in the same studio from before? Look where they have come now. All this was achieved just because we didn't give them the special treatment. So, they managed to affect so many people in so many different ways that their special needs look more like special powers. They are becoming role models in our country for everyone. People with impaired development will think, if they can do it, why not me? And people with regular development will go, if they can do it, why not me? They affect all people. The definition of a superhero is someone that has superpowers to affect people for the better and to fight the evil and the bad. So what do you think? Is this group, this DS crew, our superheroes? There are to me. Let me tell you a quick story. I think I have time, yes. In one of our children groups, 10 to 12-year-olds, we have a girl with Down syndrome. I don't know if you can find her in the picture. They were getting ready for the national championship. I had to tell them that their friend is not going to dance with them. And I told them that she's not going to dance with them because of her category. And then they said in relief, oh, it's because of her age. So we let her dance with them, and they even won this national championship in their category. And the perception of these children wasn't that their friend cannot dance with them because of her Down syndrome. It was because of her age she couldn't dance with them. This was the only categorization they saw different, which, by the way, didn't even bother them. We managed to change and affect the mindset of our clients. Everyone fears the unknown, and we are making it familiar for our clients. Inclusion at its finest is acceptance. And as a company, we managed to create this environment of and this strict rule against discrimination and hate speech, and it has been great for the business because it naturally selects the client that we want to reach to spread this mission and vision. So as a dance studio, as a sports club, we have this big responsibility on raising healthy children, healthy generations with healthy habits, especially when the statistics say that 300 to 400,000 people in North Macedonia are with disabilities or related to disabilities, according to the standards of the World Health Organization. And only 2% of the total population participates in sports. And I don't know if you know, but North Macedonia is a country of 2 million people. So please do the math. All the obstacles we had at the beginning are now gone. We move as a team, we accept everyone, and we even accept those who at first impression don't look like they need acceptance. For example, this little 5-year-old that comes to classes, she's all cheerful and she has the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen. She has diabetes. She has to measure her blood levels 2 to 3 times only during one class. And she has to constantly inject herself with insulin. It's up to us how we are going to teach our children to react on that. And the result is that she overcomes her fright and fear of people's reactions. And she has to do all this thing in order to function normally, because that is her normal. There's 4-year-old in your kid's kindergarten that hits your child daily. It's up to us how we're going to react on this. It's up to us to teach them new ways of communication and teach them that they have to be patient with everyone. And the result is that they now are very good friends. And they replaced hitting with hugging. When you offer your hand, it leads to a handshake. So you both get from it. It changes you. We must challenge our humanity, get out of the comfort zone and move our boundaries. Everyone has a story to tell, and everyone deserves a fairy tale. My Down syndrome, my DS crew dancers are professional dancers that are getting paid for their work. In the group, we have a faculty student, a professor, we have writers, singers, entertainers, a bartender, and the best tango player you will ever meet. And the story doesn't end here. It continues with each one of us until we spread humanity as an epidemic. And I challenge you to have a cup of coffee with someone with Down syndrome, to help a person with impaired vision pass the street, to help a person in a wheelchair going uphill, to reassure a mother whose screaming child is running around that she's doing well. And to do the next thing that you think you shouldn't interfere with because it's not your problem. I don't know if you remember what I asked you at the beginning. Do you remember? If you could think of your biggest weakness, biggest fear, or the one thing that bothers you mostly about yourself. I challenge you to think of ways how you can turn it into your strength and how that strength can help others around you. Thank you.